Okay, it being on or about 7 PM, the Foxborough Planning Board meeting will come to order, and just for the audience's iteration, you should be aware that this meeting may be accessed remotely via Zoom. For log information, please go to foxboroughmass.gov. Anything else I'm supposed to add to
It'll
that?
also be recorded.
Oh, and it also is being recorded as well. Thank you.
Good job.
You made it.
Get that man a razor, would you?
Ready for his birthday.
Hello,
Hello. Hola.
Madam Planner.
Buenas noches.
Buenos noches.
Buenas noches, y tú.
I don't have a written report.
That's okay.
I apologize.
It's a verbal
I'm
or
still
whatever you
new
want.
to this.
And she's the mother of a bride.
Yes, I'm
Two.
still recovering from my daughter's wedding this past weekend.
Outstanding.
What a summer, huh?
Yes. We have a few things to bring up. We have, there's a situation at 131 Moore Street. It's the area where the bleachery factory used to
castings,
be.
is it?
Yes. So they, the building seems to have been abandoned, and one of the buildings seems to have been abandoned, and there is a dam that's owned by the town right underneath it. So there's a group of departments that are getting together to try to figure out how to deal with the situation. And they've invited Representative Barrows and Senator Feeney to come and visit the site. The visit will be sometime in September. And to try to see, how we can get some funding, get some traction into how to deal with this situation. The whole site, there's issues in the whole site.
Correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Summit Castings specifically red flagged in that UMass report?
I believe so, yes, yes.
But does the abandonment on the face of it alleviate any legal repercussions that we can go after the owners or former owners or whatever, whoever abandoned the property?
I'm not sure. I believe so. I believe there's tax monies that are owed. So that could be a taking with tax title. I'm not really sure.
I'm not even so much concerned about that. I'm just the very fact that if there's an environmental issue there that they're responsible for or whatever.
Right, if they have to maintain the dam and they can't
Yeah.
access it.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there is
Okay.
heirs or there's any
I
kind of
see.
ownership.
I see.
Quick question, the way you had described it, there's lots of abandoned stuff up there.
Yes.
Was your point, to your knowledge, had that been abandoned for some time, or were you trying to suggest that it was abandoned on the fly recently?
I'm not sure. I'm new to all of
Because
this.
I thought that was one of the ones they were hanging in.
Yeah, I did too.
I could be wrong, but
Yeah, I'm not really sure. So, but this is something that there are a few buildings and pieces of land there that have been flagged that are of concern and
of greater concern
of
than
greater
others,
concern,
right.
yes. And people are getting in the town are getting more serious about trying to figure out before it becomes an even worse problem. So just wanted to bring that up to you. We have received a report from the state for the subsidized housing inventory. It's been updated, and now we are currently at 11.47%. And Barney Overett did the calculations, and once the Moore Street and the Walnut Street projects go online, we'll be at 13.8%.
And what do we need to be at?
10.
And
So I think that we're in pretty good shape for a while.
what did you say it'll go to? 13?
13.8, yeah. Approximately.
Okay.
We had today, we had a meeting regarding the Walnut Street project with the general contractor and the project team. They wanted to give us an update on where they are with the design. They're planning on finishing everything and submit the building permit materials in November. And usually, the building department has 30 days to issue the building permit, but they said that they would like to give us 60 days to be able to get through everything as necessary. They are hoping to start breaking ground in March of next year. And it'd take 18 months to construct the phase one, which is the first two buildings. So that's going forward. Of course, no occupancy can take place without the signalization and the sewer construction. So that's something that DPW has been working hard in moving forward the design and the approvals to get that completed in time for occupancies for the project. And the last thing is, I'm sure you all are aware that the new ice cream shop is open at 10 Mechanic Street. It'll be open Wednesdays through Sundays, mostly in the afternoon. So I encourage everybody to go visit.
Is it good?
I haven't tried. I'm going after this meeting.
Oh.
It opened yesterday. So, yes. That's it.
That's great.
May have to take a detour.
Yeah, you might. You might.
I might have to test it, make sure it's.
Make sure they're getting the milk from the right place.
They're not making ice cream here, though?
No, they're not. So, this is a public hearing, so we, what? Any old business, active subdivisions, anything else?
No, I've had a couple of calls recently about interest in some land to develop, but they've been really mum ups to the locations. So I'm very curious to see what people are thinking about. So there are some interest in some pieces of land in town, but nobody's committing
So
to
how
anything.
when they come to you, what can they ask you about if they can't tell you anything?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they ask about basically the subdivision regulations, what some of the requirements are, requirements of a street layout, the size of the lots, and things of that nature. This is, something very easily can be found if you search online. So,
Maybe they're new to the development game.
yeah. And we also have had a few people pulling in applications or requesting information about the accessory apartments. So we're getting more and more people interested in those. There is one property that is for sale right now that has an au pair apartment that is not permitted. So we're trying to deal with that too.
So somebody told me yesterday that they heard that they thought they heard a report on the news radio channel about the governor saying something about reviewing or revising the transit-oriented development bylaw that was passed by Governor Baker. So have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, what they are reviewing is that the guidelines. And one of the things that they changed is that they're allowing mixed use. So before it used to be the zoning only for residential, but now they're considering mixed use buildings with the lower level having commercial being acceptable in the zoning for the MBTA communities.
But does that alter the requirement for X amount of housing? No.
No.
They still have to do the housing, but they could add the additional commercial use as well.
That's right, yes. Yeah, and they also let us know that there are more grant opportunities that would be taken away if we don't comply. So.
How many more can they take away then? They said they're gonna take away everything.
Well, originally, I think there were 4 different grants that people would be not eligible, towns would not be eligible for, but now they're adding more, including brownfields. Brownfield remediation, yeah.
So they would, if you refuse to do that, then they'll allow a polluted site to remain unremediated. That sounds like a real carrot and stick thing. Okay.
Meeting minutes.
You have 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
We can do the meeting minutes.
I sent out the minutes
Yes,
today.
yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as submitted for the meeting on July 13th, 2023.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any comments, questions, or anything on them? I read them, I thought they were fine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
4 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's not even a watch, how can you tell? It's like,
I can look at the clock over there.
He can tell time.
wow.
Yes, I can. The big hand and the little hand. They move around together.
They like each other.
Yeah,
Great.
Kevin has cookies.
I see.
Yeah, well, they're not for me, actually, they're for company, but that's okay. She's gonna bug me till she gets one.
Yep.
I have a stale one at home, I'll give her.
I'm an only child. I know how to whine.
Nice.
Or I could just excuse myself and go get ice cream.
We have a quorum, you can go do
You can
it.
bring back about a dozen, so
Can
keep
I-
going.
All right. You want me to go get ice
It's
cream?
good.
That would make good fodder for Foxborough discussion group. Planning board member leaves to get ice cream.
For the room,
For the room.
yes.
For the applicants. Well, Diana,
How's things?
There was
Going on?
excitement at town hall. She lived through it.
I didn't see it, but
so this person was upset
apparently there
about
was
a
someone
tax-
who wasn't happy with some tax situation and had a little fit of
And they had to call the
yelling and
cops.
such, and police had to be called. And then someone set fire to something in the parking lot, and the fire department came. So we got to see all of public safety today. And they brought their borrowed fire trucks.
Is that?
This world is going nuts.
I don't know if the two things are related or not.
Diana and Gabby will be putting on their detective's caps later to figure that out.
The game's afoot.
Wow, thank you, Sherlock.
We have 48 hours till the clock starts now.
Did we already meet on this? Like a informational discussion?
For what?
Harry?
Yeah, we did.
4 months ago.
Okay. I'm getting old and
Thank you.
it just flies out. Getting old. I'll be 52 next month.
Yeah. A child, are you sure you're old enough to be elected to a board?
Maybe not. Oh, my dad turns 80 this year.
That's an outstanding thing. That was great.
Yeah, pet scan came back really good.
got the
It does look great.
Brandon, right, that I sent you, forwarded to you.
I know, isn't he cute?
How old's he? Looks like he's 12.
Yeah, I know. That's Dr. Merriman. He's a world-renowned lymphoma specialist.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
Where is he? What hospital?
Dana.
Dana.
Yep. So.
So is he home?
Dad?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he went in the hospital for a week for double pneumonia, pulled through. Had his 5th cancer treatment today, has his 6th mid-September, then gets a PET scan mid-October, and as long as it comes back looking like the one that from a few weeks ago, he just has to go see the doctor every 3 months for 2 years.
It's outstanding.
I know, it's like he's got 9 lives. And I had kidney stones. And had surgery.
You had kidney stone surgery. Is that from drinking too much diet soda?
I don't think so.
About iced tea?
Nope. Hereditary, they said today.
Really?
Yeah.
Heard of that. Blame it on. Oh.
It's funny, I was texting him from the emergency room yelling at him. He was in the ER at Falmouth Hospital, getting admitted.
There's some glare on that clock.
I got 7:15.
I do
You have
too.
7:15, okay.
I do too.
I do too.
Excellent. It being on or about 7:15, we are now prepared to open a public hearing. Site plan review, 7 Perry Drive, at the construction of a 12,000 plus or minus square foot addition on the southern side of an existing commercial building from Technometals.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. For the record, my name is Cameron Gray. I'm here tonight on behalf of our client, Technometals, to discuss the site plan that was submitted for our project at 7 Perry Drive. If I could share my screen, I'll get the site plan up for everyone. So at 7 Perry Drive is an existing parcel located on the southern side of Perry Drive. It consists of a 1.4 acre parcel. It currently contains an existing commercial facility along with associated parking, shipping area, and utilities. This parcel is located within the general industrial zoning district. Our client also has a rear parcel here under agreement. It's a 0.83 acre parcel. It's located within the limited industrial zoning district and is currently undeveloped and consists of a wooded area. So you can see my existing wood line right here. So our client is proposing the construction of a 12,000 square foot addition at the southern end of the existing commercial facility, along with the associated parking and additional shipping area and a driveway over to the east here for access. So this addition will match the existing building in terms of the way it looks as well as the building height. So this rear parking area will consist of 19 spaces. And with this parking area, as well as the existing parking, we'll be able to accommodate the required number of spaces. So we have utilized permeable pavers, so that's what this hatching is that you see in this rear proposed area. So we've used these permeable pavers in order to adhere to the impervious coverage of 70%. So the site will be serviced by an existing septic system located at the front of the parcel underneath the existing parking area here, as well as municipal water and municipal gas. So this septic system was recently upgraded in June of 2021 in anticipation for this expansion, so it'll accommodate the additional flows. So the stormwater management system for this project will consist of parking lot drainage and roof drainage. So all the runoff from the parking lot will go into deep sump catch basins. So I have one here and one located in the loading dock area. It'll be fed into the subsurface infiltration basin. And we'll also have roof drainage, as I said, and this will be conveyed separately to that subsurface basin. So due to the location and the surrounding facilities around here, we don't have any landscaping proposed in the buffer area or the buffer strip for this rear parking area.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah.
But as for the driveway, on the east side here, we're proposing a 6-foot PVC fence. It would not be possible for us to have that 10-foot buffer strip due to the location of the existing building. So it's roughly 25 feet off the property line. So if we were to try and maintain that 10-foot buffer, we wouldn't be able to get a driveway in there. It would cut off access to this rear parking area altogether. So the board has the,
Excuse me.
no problem. So the board has the authority to accept this configuration under the Foxborough zoning bylaws. And so as you'll notice, due to the presence of wetlands at the back of this parcel, so we got wetlands here and it goes off, but it comes around and connects back up into here. So due to the presence of those wetlands, we've had to submit a notice of intent with the Foxborough Conservation Commission. So we brought this plan before the board and we've met them. We've had one meeting with them so far. So this plan has been designed in accordance with section 6.5 of the Foxborough zoning bylaws. I included a short summary of how this project meets all those standards in my narrative that I submitted with my site plan. I could go over that if anyone would like me to. And we've also received the comments from the town's consultant. I've only had a chance to just quickly review them, and I don't see anything that would warrant major changes, so we'll work with the professional staff and the town's consultant to address all those comments. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Did the Concom come out and do a site walk of any kind with you, or just met with you?
They just met with us, so I offered to do a site walk for any of the members.
Okay.
I must confess not to be familiar with a single building straddling zoning lines, and if there are any requirements thereto that need to be met.
Yeah, I gotta review the zoning bylaws a little bit more to see if there's anything about a lot straddling two parcels, or, well, two zoning districts.
Well, not even so much the lot, but the structure itself.
Oh, okay.
So the setback requirements for the two zones are the same. And so if you look at the zoning chart on page 3 in the upper right corner, you'll see that there is no difference between the setback requirements or the lot coverage requirements of the S1 and of the limited industrial and general industrial district. I think the general industrial is a little bit less restrictive than limited when it comes to uses. But since this use is just light manufacturing warehouse, and with a little tiny office component, again, it's an allowed use in both zones.
Is that an issue that would come up in financing maybe, or not at all?
I don't think so. If an attorney was doing a zoning, I forget what they call it, a zoning opinion, normally they would call us and say, show us the plan, what are the setback requirements, what are the lot coverage requirements, and things like that. I don't see anything there that would do it, and there's nothing in our zoning that has an issue, again, because both zones allow this use by right.
You agree with that, Gabby?
Yeah. Yeah, you filed, Cam, you filed under, in the use table under B1 or D1? I think it was B1, I don't have the folder with me. And for
The
both,
application.
for both of them, the uses are allowed by right on both, yeah.
There was a communication from the Director of the Board of Health, Public Health. He just says, "My comments would be that Bill states that the septic system can handle the additional space. I would ask Bill to prove via either water meter readings or an employee count that the space will occupy no more than 20 employees in total. If water readings are above the gallons per day or the business has more than 20 people on site per day, the septic would need to be upgraded. If there are industrial processes, industrial wastewater, fluid drains, or other environmental factors, more information may be needed by the Health Department. However, as shown for warehouse purposes, the Health Department has no objections." And anything, no concerns from the Foxborough Police Department. And I haven't read everything from Environmental Partners, but Mr. Shippey says,
Did I file in the wrong folder?
I'm sorry, what?
Did I file Mr. Shippey's letter in the wrong folder?
I don't know. It says, well, just the bill, asked you to forward the submittal to him. I don't think I saw a response from him. But I'm sure, did he have a response?
No, he did not.
Okay.
And we also heard from the fire department today. Gabby forwarded that to us. It was an email from Dave Larissy.
No
He was all set.
Yeah,
Let me see.
sure, please, go right ahead.
So just for clarity's sake, so do we understand that there's a request on the table for that buffer waiver? Okay. And one other question, just because I'm curious. On your cover sheet, you've just got your little locus inset there. And I was just wondering, down in the lower left-hand corner, what, just to orient myself a little better, what street that is?
Meadowview,
Is it Meadowview? Yeah.
yeah.
Bill, as Kevin read, that the health department would ask you to prove to, via either water meter readings or an employee count, that the space will occupy no more than 20 employees in total. Has that been done or
Verified.
will be done?
Yes. You know, we knew this was coming back in 2021.
Yep, 21.
So we designed it for that use, and we'll get that information to the Board of Health.
Thank you.
Yeah, I forgot to print the memo from Deputy Chief Larissy from the Fire Department, and it says, "I reviewed the plans and find no issues as drawn. The proposed 20-foot driveway on the side of the building is a must." So I think that there's questions about it in the comments from environmental partners, so.
Just, tell them we just want to continue.
My favorite question, Bill,
We,
lady, oh, sorry.
we're going to have a meeting to discuss the letter from environmental partners, so that, because we just received it, so we're gonna continue this hearing so that we can deal with these issues.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the abutting lot, and I don't think there'd be any opposition on my behalf as far as granting that waiver.
Any additional lighting being put in?
Nothing except for on the building. So it'd be over the loading dock area. There'd be no pole
Shining
lights.
down.
You don't have any lighting for the driveway or anything like that?
Not unless there's a side door, which I think there is. So there would be lighting over that. They don't work at night. You know, they don't do and if they do, it would be a small shift coming in the front, so they didn't want any additional lighting. It doesn't have any now.
Motion to continue.
Sure.
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing for site plan review, 7 Perry Drive, until
When did you want it? Did you want to do the
September
You want to go
28th.
September?
28th?
Yep, the 28th.
till September 28th at
Yeah, 7:15 at this point.
7:15 PM.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I said I might.
I have a client. Thank you. Good job.
Thank you. How about that razor?
Get it to him for Christmas or Hanukkah.
Whatever, get Kwanzaa, whatever he celebrates on.
You're there.
You got 2 minutes.
I know, I can see that.
That clock's long.
Gabby, run really quick.
Thank
See
you,
you,
good
Bill.
evening.
Go
Good
get
night.
ice cream in 2 minutes.
Bill, by the time you run back here, it'll be melting on your hands.
Oh, I would have eaten it already.
Nice.
Minutes.
I know.
Plans to be signed.
You can go sign plan.
Okay, let's go.
Field trip.
Hey, we already signed.
We're ahead of the game, Jeff.
Thank you.
We get the ice cream faster, doesn't it?
That's right.
See, you shouldn't have brought it up, Gabby, because now it's all we can think about.
So what was the word about tonight's concert? Because I didn't see a heck of a lot of traffic, and my son said they just got tickets this afternoon for $16.
I would say that that's not that good a story. I know some of my friends hit traffic, but Like usually.
Not like real traffic.
It wasn't real traffic. No.
I was just wondering, I never heard
I'm sorry?
those were sold out, but obviously not.
Okay.
And I know that Saturday wasn't sold out.
Really?
Yeah,
What
because
that,
friends of mine just got tickets, I think, the day before yesterday.
for a decent price?
I'm thinking not for $16. So I haven't seen any activity, on your street.
I did. I saw
Yeah.
it once. They had opened storage things, but.
Try coloring my drawing, make it look a little prettier, but we're not even gonna show that, so.
Yeah, the 4.
See, it's a little old school with the hand.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I was trying to highlight, okay, what areas are coming out?
Yeah.
What's going in?
Do you think we should start with that first image?
on FaceTime.
No, I think we.
Okay. Yeah.
If you pull my drawings up on the screen and I
Text
post it up
page
there,
and
I might
update
just go
on the
stand
concert.
there. Screen.
Oh, why is she there?
She is.
She is. Her car was over here.
I think she was picked up.
Ooh, la-di-da.
So,
Oh, Marcia? Go ahead.
being on or about 7:30 PM, we have a public hearing for limited site plan review, 70 North Street, a proposal to demolish existing buildings and construct a new building to include a cow barn and a dairy processing operation for Oak Knoll Farm LLC. Good evening.
Thank you, Kevin, and Planning Board Committee members. My name is Terry Lawton. Here tonight to ask you for a limited site plan review, and hopefully we can make some good decisions about this plan. My husband and I took over the farm in 2019, shortly before the shutdown. And since that time, we've been trying to increase our capacity. Specifically, we're working with nonprofits in the Boston area to provide dairy products to underserved populations. So that is, in terms of the operations, some of the things that we've been working towards, which is where this plan comes in. One of the first things that we did when we took over is we assessed all the buildings that were on the property to determine what was still usable or what was in too much of a state of disrepair. And during that time, we were able to come up with some different plans and different ideas that we could utilize to increase our capacity and serve the community better. We've been hired Don Cimini and DGT Associates to help us come up with a plan that would position us to better serve the community going forward. And I'm going to turn it over to the gentleman to tell you a little bit more.
Thank you.
If I could share my screen.
Of course. How many buildings are on the property now while he's pulling that up?
I don't count them.
Approximately 16 to 17, there's some shed buildings, there's some
There's a
Connex
lot.
boxes.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot
There's
back
quite a few.
Anything salvageable?
Well, some of the buildings are gonna remain.
Right, yeah. So the most important structures historically are the Newell Morse House and the barn that was built a year before that. And both those structures are in very good condition, and we plan to keep those, which is amazing. The old wood, it just lasts.
It does, it really does.
And the stuff that was built after the 1900s, you can really see the deterioration just so much faster. So those are more the buildings that would be replaced, the newer ones.
So I'm Don Camini with Community Design Architects. The proposed facility would be a 19,600 square foot processing facility, of which it would be a hybrid style building of a pre-engineered steel building, which would be this portion, and a timber frame retail area here.
It's not coming up on the screen.
Sorry.
I wanted to add, while we're working through these technical difficulties, one of the things that we've been able to do with the help of Dawn's work is we recently received a grant from the Executive Office of Environmental Affairs. They had some grant money available to increase the food infrastructure that's located in Massachusetts, and we received $500,000 towards this project.
Wow, that's great.
That's amazing.
From that agency.
Congratulations.
So it's very exciting.
Well, Terry, while he's trying to figure this out, I have to say I'm very impressed with what you're doing.
Thank you.
I really, really am. The fact that it's not getting sold, developed, the fact that you want to continue your grandfather's legacy. I worked for your grandfather. It was my first job when I
Oh,
was,
yeah.
14, 15.
Yeah.
Here we go,
Yeah, a lot of people have. Were you in the
Yep.
chicken barns? Or?
Chickens, yep.
Yeah.
You remember talking to your grandfather about all those birds that he developed?
Yeah, you know, and it's so funny. He knew more about chickens than most people.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably anyone I've ever met. Yep.
I apologize for the delay.
No worries.
It's okay.
So the plan would include this area here, which would be the retail area, which would be the timber frame area. The main production area or processing area would be about 2,500 square feet and would include support areas of shipping, packaging, the aging caves, employee locker rooms and bathroom facilities, the raw milk delivery area and storage, a large walk-in cooler, and then a unique feature would be the cattle milking area that would also have a display window from the retail area and also from the outside area, just to bring some learning to the
Yeah.
visitors to the facility. We would have some covered seating area, thinking that there might be the sale of ice cream in the future. Nothing really right now is planned out, but just a place where people could get in from out of the sun after getting their product. This would be the future cow barn. I think that's,
The other screen's still
oh,
showing.
I'm sorry. Actually, I wanted my, I don't have my technical person with me today, I'm sorry.
You're
Apologize.
totally fine.
I brought foam core boards, so
Bring a pointer, you can.
Always a backup, just like the old days.
Now he's going to
Where's
test
Bill?
our
Where's Bill with
eyes.
his little laser pointer, you know?
I have one of those.
Do you? You can feel free.
So, I'm sorry, this would be the outdoor seating area, this is on both sides of the retail area, and this would be the proposed cow barn area. And the cattle would come in basically at this area here into where the viewing windows are. And then the back of the facility would be more utilitarian for deliveries and employee entrances.
Yeah, it's not saying that.
Sure.
Crazy.
Let me get the right image up. There it is. So this would be the walk-in cooler area. This would be the shipping. The raw milk shipping is over on this end. There would be employee parking back here. A couple of employee entrances.
And also deliveries would be in the back.
Yeah, deliveries would be in the back. So all the public functions are all up front.
One question I would have had, but I looked further into the plans, would have been adequate parking, but the way this building is located on the property, that doesn't seem to be an issue at all.
Well, we do have a site plan that we can share.
These plans go back to C3, they bring a good view.
So Terry, may I ask you a question?
Yes,
So
Kevin.
he keeps on referring to the raw milk here. Are you only going to do raw milk, or are you going to do pasteurized milk as well?
Pasteurized milk, yes. We're working on, that's one of the main things that, right now, we're in a 300, a little bit more than 300 square foot area, and we can't fit any more equipment or any more processes in that space.
Right.
So being able to bottle and pasteurize milk is part of the plan. So when he talks about the raw milk, it's like a receiving bay. So we would basically use a pickup truck and a small trailer to pick up milk from another couple farms that are in the area. It would increase the viability of those farms significantly to be able to get a little value added on from their product. So that's basically what the purpose of that space would be, is to, there's hundreds of regulations on milk, and that would be so that the truck could back into the receiving bay and the door would close, and then they would offload the milk, which is what the requirement is. So here's the site plan.
Yeah, Bert Corey with DGT Associates, we're the surveyors and the civil engineers. May I go up there and point
Yes,
it out?
please, go right ahead.
Totally. Have at it.
You should be in front of the microphone though, please.
You can take it with you.
Well, there is a cord here, so let's see how far it can go. Okay, so I think you can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
I can talk louder too. So the site in general is about 27 acres in size. This red line represents the property line on North Street. And then it extends beyond this, from the back of this farm pond area, another 1,000 feet out. So it's quite extensive. Yeah, we cut it off at this point, but from this corner back is about 1,000 feet. So there's quite a bit of a distance. If we can bring this back up through here. So there's an existing driveway today over on the left-hand side that comes off of North Street. There's also a smaller driveway. I guess historically it's been there for a while, but maybe not used as much anymore. Regardless, what we're proposing are two driveways coming into the site. 20-foot wide gravel driveway coming in off of North Street, coming into this front parking area, which is in front of the building, which you could see on Dawn's pictures. And then also another 20-foot wide driveway coming back out onto North Street, again being gravel. All of this is essentially gravel. Now, as far as where the building is sited, there are several existing buildings that would stay in place. The two that are in the front, there's also a barn building just behind them. The one directly behind them is actually slated to come down. And then there's several other buildings that would be demolished in order to make way for this particular building. The main building, the retail, as well as the cow building.
Is there a house on the property?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the, probably the closest to the street.
This one right here. There's kind of a gravel roadway that comes off of this. What we're proposing is just two formal driveways coming off of this at this point. There still would be access to the house. We're not proposing to demolish that at all, but now let's see. And as far as some of the numbers, just some rough numbers would be, there's about 26,000 square feet of building associated with the buildings, the sheds, and even a few of these Connex boxes. What would be demolished is about 16,000 square feet. So that brings us down to about 10,000 square feet of existing building that would remain. In total, between the cow barn and the proposed building, there's about 35,000 that would be added. So, you know, we're going from that 26 to about 45,000 square feet. So there's going to be an increase in the building area. When you take that and you put that against the lot area, though, 27 acres, the open space numbers are in the 90s for open space. Doesn't seem to be too much of an issue with that. As far as setbacks go, as a non-residential, the distance between the front property line and the closest corner of the building, I can't read that, but I think it's somewhere around 237.8.
Yep.
It is.
Wow. And then also the distance from here to this property line is it's like 50.7 feet, which the requirement is to be 50 feet off of this side. And then over on the other side, it's, I think it was around 130 between these corners as well as that corner. Again, certainly more than 50 feet. Right now, we're proposing 20-foot wide. I kind of keep on bringing that up because we're going to be asking for a waiver. Looks like in section 6, it talks about the driveways have to be 26 feet wide at the property line. And we're not proposing to flare these out at the property line. We'd just like to keep them as 20 foot. I mean, honestly, I looked to see if there was anything in the regulations that talked about the width that was required. I didn't see so much of that other than in the parking areas. If you want two-way travel with 90-degree parking, it's 24 feet is required. These as being driveways, we're trying to keep them as small as possible. It's an LID, right? Especially being gravel. So we're asking for the waiver from the 26. Also being gravel, and I'd like to point out too, we have about an 8% slope right here. It's only 5 over here, and typically in parking lots, 5% is about the max that you'll do in parking lot design. At 8%, it's a little bit steeper. So one of the things that we've been talking about is, you know, ongoing maintenance associated with that. Certainly some of the storm events that we've been getting lately, they've been pretty intense, and we can start to get some washout. We are looking at some, you know, this would go into more of the construction level documents, but we are looking at some types of grid, like a plastic grid, where the gravel can go in there to prevent the washout. We would also take a look at maybe some sub-drains in there to capture any water that could be sitting on there so that it doesn't destroy the sub-base below the
So,
gravel.
excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt
Sure.
you, but, so when you use the term gravel, do you mean like crushed bank or pre-processed asphalt, or what do you, how?
No, right now, it's, yeah, right now it'd be processed,
Yeah.
dense grade material.
Okay.
Okay, at the driveway, are you thinking the driveway's one way each?
No, 2 ways at 20 feet wide.
And presuming that the driveway, as we look facing on the right-hand side, would be the primary access by heavy equipment and/or trucks to the rear of the, where the garage doors are.
Here's a loading dock facility, and here's the milk truck
Right.
loading. So if they're coming in, they're going to be coming in this
Oh, they
road
are?
right here.
Okay.
Coming around. We've done some routing with the turning templates. It gets tight in through here, but we've got a lot of gravel area in here, and we purposely stopped our parking over on this side here so that we could have this little bump out into paving, or not the paving area, but the parking area, so that this truck can make that maneuver.
Yeah.
Same thing over here with the milk truck. The milk truck would have to go in, and then back up into that area.
Okay.
There is, on occasion, and I don't know the exact answer on this, I know it was at least 2 times a year that there may be a larger truck that has to get to the cow barn. Most likely, that truck would come in down this driveway here and make that maneuver. whether he has to turn this way or turn that way to get into this, it's a little tough, but we seem to have gotten it worked out. None of these have curbs, it's all on grass too, so there is some swing space. We do have a retaining wall though, going around the back side, and that's just to handle the grades that are there. There is a grade difference. But we do have a diagram. I don't know if it's in this set where we show the truck maneuvering to get in through here. It's not a 3-point turn. Right.
I gotta tell you, I love this idea. The driveways on that corner are of concern to me.
Which driveway?
Both.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh, right here.
where North Street goes like this.
Okay.
All I can envision is somebody is stopped, they're going this way, somebody stopped to take a right, and you've got a big truck in the thing, and then there's just gonna be people round in the corner.
I did talk to Chief of Police about this, because I was concerned, being a novice, about this. And he said he had no concerns because of the way that the curve is. He said that the property is on the open side of a curve, so you can see coming from both ways. So that was definitely a question that I brought up, because I was a little concerned about, because it was on a curve, and he said that he was okay because of the way that the curve is.
And also, from what I understand, Nevin and Terry, any kind of a big vehicle that would be backing up to here is infrequent, but is that occurring during?
Right, so it is infrequent, and for example, we have a guy that brings in hay, and the one guy we have that drives in, he's this logger from New Hampshire, and he can get a truck in anywhere. I've never seen anyone back like him. But we have a good 20 feet at least that they can pull off the road and back in. And this guy doesn't even need to get into the road in order to back in. Some of the less experienced drivers do. But those are generally driving straight jobs, and it's not going to be more traffic necessarily than we already have right now, so.
So Terry, is this the same area right now, if I wanted to pull in and buy cheese or whatever that I'd pull in today?
It'll be on either side.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying the same basic front area along North Street there.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
That's gonna remain.
This is the existing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about, like it used to be, I can remember when I was a kid, and you might know better, Ron, than I would, but that sunken driveway was where they would come in, drive in to pick up eggs behind the house. And so I can remember people all the time almost would drive
This is the
around,
road
yeah,
coming through
drive in that way and come around and then leave between the house and barn.
Not to stray too far from our purview, but I'm just kind of curious about, will the front buildings to remain, obviously the residence, that's one thing, but even the barn, be purposed in a similar manner as currently, or repurposed, or, what are your thoughts? And I'm also just kind of curious about, in general, your kind of business vision here, and, in a broader sense, where you're going, and also the proportionality. Is this a facility and a site plan that you would envision yourself growing into over time, or is this going to be full occupancy and full ops when open? That's a lot, I know. Don't worry.
So in terms of
worries.
occupancy and full usage, that's one of those things that I think that we made the space as big as it is for a reason, so that we can be able to plan properly and have a nice space for people to work in.
Okay.
Something.
And give you some room for growth as well.
And give us some room for growth, but, having, being able to provide a nice working environment is really important these days, especially with how competitive finding workers is. So that's one of the things that we've been thinking about as we design this, is that it's not just about necessarily making a nice place, but also making it something that's comfortable for people to work in, that they have enough space and that they can feel proud when they're coming to work and grateful for where they are going to work.
And then, obviously, you know, I'm seeing spectacular new retail space in particular in the new structure, or the proposed structure. So what about your existing barn out front? That, I was just curious about that. You know, that's why I was asking about repurposing or...
Yeah, we haven't really figured out all those details. You know, certainly, they both have a lot of value to the family.
Sure.
You know,
Great.
the 7 generations in the same family for that particular barn and that particular house is quite a lot of value. So we're
Sure.
very conscientious about what we do with it and who we hire to work on them and
Yeah.
and you know, and what those purposes will be for. So
Just curious.
yeah,
7 generations, wow.
and we have the 8th generation living on there too. So
Hopefully they're holding up their end of the
well, it's all 4 to 8. I don't know that they have
They
too
will-
much
they can work.
responsibility
They can
yet.
work.
I've met them, they're a little young.
Not too young to learn how to milk.
Well, they already know that. That's
There you
boring.
go. I knew it.
See, they're earning their keep.
So Gabby, from a, you know, just from, you know, a nuts and bolts perspective and in a legal sense of pre-existing use, right?
Right, and it's also, this is limited site plan review because it's an agricultural use.
Yes.
So
Yep.
it's protected. So basically what, and this is what I was looking for this, what we can review is regarding bulk and height, open space, building coverage, yard sizes, lot area, and setbacks, and the physical layout of structures, driveways, and parking and loading areas. That's what our review is limited to. So, you know, I think that they've
Addressed it.
addressed
Addressed
them.
all of that in the presentation.
You know, usually our review also consists of stormwater management. That will fall under the review by the Conservation Commission. I know that they're also limited as to what they can review because of being
Same
an
reason.
agricultural use. But, you know, I believe that, you know, they've addressed what, you know, what we would be reviewing.
What are you thinking from a timing perspective?
Jesus. Sorry.
So, in terms of timing, I mean, the grant that I spoke about earlier, the $500,000 we're supposed to spend by June 30th of 2024. So that is supposed to cover the foundation and basically the shell of the structure. It can go towards that as well. So, you know, that's basically the only deadline we necessarily have right now.
Just I know Jeff asked some questions not in our purview. I just want to know, how did they let you know that you've been awarded a $500,000 grant?
By email.
Smoke signal, you know.
Don't even get a letter anymore.
You don't even get a letter?
Well, no, and no, it's I don't know.
Or a giant check.
The IRS is the only one that sends letters still.
We did receive some comments, and I want to preface that, you know, there's a comment that's pretty lengthy from the Board of Health, and that's something that will have to be addressed during the, you know, the building permit phase.
Right.
I saw the one from Jane. Hold on, let me just see. I don't see the Board of Health, I just see Mike Graves.
Oh, I'm
Police
sorry.
the police chief,
You-
Jane, a couple from Jane.
So
I did send it to you, right?
did.
Yeah.
And so Matt had, and I spoke with him earlier today about it. He just wants to, you know, make us aware. Well, we have to have our
hand sinks and 3 compartment sinks to meet Board of Health standards.
Which is, I mean, the FDA is very intense about the level of scrutiny that they give on their plans. So we've been working with a consultant out of Texas who's designed many plants around this size. Plants, I say plants, but cheese rooms and bottling facilities in the area and throughout the country. And so we're working with him to help us come up with a compliant and effective system.
Forgive me for asking, I just don't know. Is there also state oversight of your operation, even now?
Yeah, actually, I counted, I think I could have 10 inspectors from all different agencies
Right.
on one day, and no overlap. So, yes, we have a lot of scrutiny from state and federal
Okay. the
and
feds too?
local oversight, so.
Right.
Having nothing to do with the reason you're here tonight, I mean, do you see this as an opportunity for you to get students in and educate them and let them,
Like the agricultural
you know,
high school.
not
Yes.
even that, just even local, I mean, I grew up in the city in Philadelphia, and even as a child there, they took us out to dairy farms, you know, and things like that. So, I mean, I always thought it was a great experience, and, you know, everything I've ever read, you know, about kids and allergies and all that stuff, that kids that are exposed to all that stuff do much better, and I just.
Field trips, I
yeah.
can see it now.
Yeah,
I think it'd be
yeah,
wonderful.
absolutely.
And it's a local thing.
And
It's
it's a
like you're-
need, I mean,
You know, you're local, the schools are right here, it'd be really a nice thing.
we have people at least 3 times a year ask us to do tours, and we're really not set up right now
Right.
to have a bus come in and
Yeah,
have, you know, to be able to show people how we milk the cows. And honestly, we're milking the cows in an old World War II bunker, or I mean, barracks. So it's nothing, there's nothing pretty about it, but it's, with this setup, it would be a lot easier for us to do that either as groups, like you suggested,
Yeah.
or on an individual basis. So there's a lot of homeschooling families in the area now that would be interested in either doing something like this or even being able to volunteer. One of the things that we've started is, since I took over the farm, we are offering co-ops to Bristol Aggie students as well as Norfolk Aggie students. So we've mentored 5 students so far.
nice, that's really good.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add, or questions you might have, or
No.
comments? Anything from
Yeah,
the board?
not at this time.
No, not at all.
So, we have to continue, or we can move
I
on?
think,
Let's
that does, you want to vote?
I mean, we have enough to vote. We only have limited site plan review.
Right. What is?
There's nothing more to
there's
discuss.
There's nothing more to,
There's nothing
be,
open-ended.
more information to be brought in
Right.
at this point.
Okay.
Everything that we have any purview with has already been addressed, and
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
Sorry, is there any?
Sorry.
oops,
Have
I'm sorry.
comments?
Sorry.
They're my neighbors, they came to support me.
Okay. Well, we didn't know if I wanted to say anything.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Our town is
go
very
ahead, Tracy.
fortunate to have you
Thank
both
you,
in it.
Tracy.
Now you may do it.
I was being nice. I know it's an abnormality, but,
Shut up.
oh my gosh. Make a motion to close the public hearing for limited site plan review at 70 North Street.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. I make a motion to approve the limited site plan review for 70 North Street
Second again.
With the waiver requested.
with the waiver requested.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very impressive.
Thank you very much.
Very
pleased for you,
impressive.
really.
And I've never been, but I am coming.
We have ice
Oh.
cream sandwiches.
Just close the public hearing before we vote.
Ice cream sandwiches.
Okay.
Hey, you had me at cheese.
There you go.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Nobody's gonna second that one. Second.
Motion granted?
All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you, really good luck.
Thank you.